In this video, we are focusing on ratio and rates. When dealing with ratios, find the value of one part of the ratio. For example, if the ratio of cars to motorbikes is 35:2, and there are 6 motorbikes, this means, so we've got 2 parts equaling the 6 motorbikes as indicated here. We need to get back down to 1 part. So what we have to do to 2 parts to get to 1 is divide it by 2, and you must do this on the other side as well. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So we know, even though there are 2 parts equals 6 motorbikes, 1 part, just by halving it because we're going from 2 to 1, gives us 3 motorbikes. So you must do the same thing on both sides here. So what you do to this part to get back down to 1, you must do the same thing on this side. When dealing with rates, find the value of the rate per 1 unit. For example, if Sam earned $64 for a 4-hour shift at work, his wage rate is. So we know that Sam earned $64 per 4 hours. That's 4 hours. We must take this 4 hours and get it down to 1 unit, which is 1 hour. So to go from 4 hours to 1 hour, to get the 1 hour unit, you must divide by 4. And you do the same thing on this side. Very similar to this here. So you divide 4 hours by 4 and you get 1 hour. What you do to this side, you must do to this side as well. So $64 divided by 4 gives you $16. It tells you that Sam earned $16 per 1 hour. So once the value of one part or the rate per 1 unit is known, the value of any number of parts or units can be found by multiplying. So we've been dividing our rates and our ratios to get down to 1 part or 1 unit. We're now going to do the opposite and multiply to figure out how much of an item there is. So let's look at this example here. It says the ratio of apples to oranges is 3:5. So that's apples, because that's mentioned first, and oranges is second. If there are 18 apples, how many oranges are there? So we know how many apples there are. There's 18 apples, and that's the 3 parts of that. We've got to figure out what this is here. So 3 parts equals 18 apples. I need to bring that down to 1 part now before I proceed. So 1 part equals, and I've got to figure out how many apples that is. So in order to get 3 parts down to 1, I have to divide by 3, and I must do the same thing to this side. So I now know that 18 divided by 3 equals 6. So 1 part of the apples is 6 apples, or 6 pieces, depending on the topic we're looking at, or the items. So now oranges, we're going to find out how many there are here. So we know that there's 5 parts. So 5 parts multiplied by the 6 pieces, because this here is 6 pieces, and that's just a generic term for the item. So 5 parts in the ratio multiplied by the 6 pieces, which is the base unit here with a 1 part, that's going to equal 30 oranges. And then you would write a therefore sentence, and you would say there are 30 oranges, okay, in the ratio of 3:5. So you write whatever you want to write in your therefore statement. So these 3 dots mean therefore, and the reason we have a worded answer is because it's a worded question. Let's take a look at another question here. It says a truck uses 4 litres of petrol to travel 36 kilometres. How far will it travel if it uses 70 litres of petrol? This is not a ratio, this is a rate. So we're going to take a look at the information given to us. It says 36 kilometres and 70 litres of petrol and 4 litres of petrol. So these numbers tell me I've got to look at these and figure out which is the information that I need and what's the answer I've got to figure out. So it says that it uses 4 litres of petrol to travel 36 kilometres. So I'm going to write that down to begin with. 36 kilometres equals 4 litres of petrol. And it's telling me to find out how far it will go if it uses 70 litres of petrol. That's my end result. So first of all, I have to bring it down to 1 litre of petrol. I've got to get to the 1 unit. And to go from 4 litres to 1 litre, I must divide by 4. So I have to do this over here as well. I take 36 kilometres, divide it by 4, and I get 9 kilometres. So now I know the 1 unit, okay, the 1 litre petrol, which is the 1 unit, is 9 kilometres. So now I've got that 1 unit, I have to then bring it back to 70 litres. So what have I got to do to 1 unit of, which is 1 litre of petrol, to get to 70 litres? I have to times it by 70. So I have to do this over here as well. So 9 kilometres times by 70 is 630 kilometres. So now I know the truck will travel 630 kilometres using 70 litres of petrol. Now, because it's a worded question, I must have a worded answer, so I can say, therefore, the truck will travel, put my answer in, 630 kilometres on 70 litres of petrol. Okay, so make sure with worded questions you have a worded answer. So let's take a look at one last question here. It says Melissa works at the local supermarket and earns $57.60 for a 4-hour shift. How much does she earn in cents per minute? So our information is her money earned over 4 hours, and they want to know in cents per minute for the answer. So let's have a look at this. So we have to write down what she earns, which is $57.60, and that's for 4 hours of work. So that's a rate. We now need to bring this down to 1 hour of work to bring it down to the 1 unit. So to get from 4 to 1, we must divide by 4. So we do the same over here, and we go $57.60 divided by 4, and it brings it down to $14.40. So we now know what she earns per hour. Because they want this answer in per minutes, we've got to change the hour to 60 minutes. And we're going to change this to cents because they want cents. So $14.40 is 1,440 cents. So now we've got to go down to 1 minute because they want to know per minute. So per minute of work. There's 60 minutes of work here and 1 minute of work here. We must divide by 60 to get that 1 minute. So we have to do the same thing over here. And if we divide 1,440 cents by 60, we get 24 cents. So we now know that she earns 24 cents per 1 minute of work, and it's a worded question, so we need a worded answer. So we can write whatever you want to write as long as it's appropriate to the question. So Melissa earns 24 cents per minute of work.